You can't complain about having wasted potential if you could still realize said potential.
Who said anything about complaining? I see him.
There you are.
I hear him.
Hello. But perfectly at 12 p.m. you fix it.
So let's not waste any more time. Hello and welcome to the AWKWARDCast, where ANY and Keyframe wonder about random drivel. And today with us, Quill. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. But while Key and I know you, kind of on a far too personal level.
Oh yeah. Oh why am I? What
kind of implication is that?
I leave it to the audience imagination.
I don't.
Oh no, he has a soundboard.
Oh no, he has a soundboard.
Oh no, now I want to have a soundboard for the show.
You need to.
Here it is.
What are you?
Here it is.
Oh, it's like one of those tiny things you can get like a novelty store, isn't it?
Indeed. Let's see here. Where's the applause button? My ego demands it.
Oh no.
Yes.
It shows up.
Okay.
We have so many questions for today. We really should get this.
Yeah, we have a lot of
exactly.
questions.
So,
you are a really popular guest,
and
apparently. So who are you?
Exactly. Since you already gave yourself the applause, now you have to kind of deliver. For people who do not know you, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?
Who am I? I go by the name Quill. I am a YouTuber and also comic artist on, YouTube and DeviantArts. I also do comic reviews and blog posts for Equestria Daily, and I attend many a convention trying to offer a little bit of in-person experience, including just recently hosting a charity auction at MLP MSP.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Why should people care? Good question. I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, well, Silver, it's great to have you on. What has been going on in the recent life of Silver Quill? Any highlights, any funny stories, any mishaps? Especially the last one.
Yes, and yes.
Oh boy.
Let's see. Highlights was indeed going to MLP MSP. Also, I am slated to be a community guest at BronyCon,
Lucky you.
Which is fantastic. Highlights for me. This was a couple months ago at BabsCon, where we were doing Whose Line Is It Anyway, hosted by AC Respest and Saberspark. Our friend Wilstonator was also on the panel, and Dusty Cat was hosting. And we hosted a game called Know What I Mean. Oh no, it's called Innuendo.
Oh.
You had to say a sentence, but then you had to end it with "You know what I mean," and every sentence had to be an innuendo. So, and you can view this on RaceFest channel. Basically, I did so many innuendos that Saber assumed the fetal position. Several people were rolling on the floor laughing, literally, physically on the floor. And the sound staff, being very protective of the audience, was like, nope, you gotta cut it. You gotta cut it out. No more. Stop. Time. And, I just kept going because, I just had to keep it up for at least 4 hours. Know what I mean?
Wait, which year?
Is it near the end?
This year or last year?
This year, the middle, I believe.
Oh, damn it! I'm on the wrong year.
Good job. But I've only been able to catch Whose Line once, and that was at Winnie City, and it was at the very end, and it was you guys singing the bar song, and that was great. And apparently, I offended you by saying, "Hey, I should be." On, especially for that last bit.
Is this a fetal position?
That one, no, that's a dead body. That's where you're moving. Someone has gone kaput, and he's basically a marionette for the rest of the cast.
Well, anyway.
Also, that scene right there pretty much describes Respest and Saber in this close relationship there.
I guess it does. Anyways, I put the link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourselves and find the right spot, because I'm obviously incapable of it.
Well, I could also try to seek it out for you. But awkward stories. Well, besides trying to get ready for this podcast, here's the thing, folks. I'm on 50 minutes before. Camera's working. Microphone's working. But I'm cast in shadow. And no one could see me. And I was like, well, that's no good. So I fish out a lamp and I'm about to plug it in. I bump my computer, and suddenly I'm mute. No one can hear me. Why would you be denied this glorious voice?
Your worst fear, screaming to the void, and no one's talking back.
I can't get by on these looks. It's the voice or nothing, baby. So I finally get the mic, my mic working, and suddenly, the camera doesn't want to work. So that's why just barely I make it online with full working capability. But if you want an awkward story,
oh boy.
Getting ready for BronyCon, I realize I've been very quiet online with YouTube and the whatnot. That's because I have been pouring my energy into making a very expanded view of the cast, all these vectors of ponies that I'm trying to assemble into a grand collage. And I'm working on it everywhere. I go to lunch, I'm working on it. I'm at home, I'm working on it. I get home from friends and family, I'm working on it. I'm typing away in this deli, just drawing characters. And lo and behold, the waitress leans over and says, "Oh, is that My Pretty Pony?" And suddenly I'm in this theater, this room, very much aware of a heavy attendance. And I'm like, the nerd in me is like, "No, it's My Little Pony, Shaw." And just like, you know what? Just let it go, dude. Just let it go.
But how do you react? I mean, you got asked a question, so you need to reply in one way or another.
Yeah.
Also,
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, that is My Pretty Pony. And they're pretty. Except I was drawing Bo Hot Hoofs, so it's not that pretty.
I mean, true. It reminds me of oh god, this was years ago. Back when I was the ripe young age of 17.
Oh, so 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Shut your mouth. I am older than that. But no, I think it was when I started doing title cards for the guy down here. And I was in art class and I was working on one. And I had I had a reference picture on my iPad, and all the people in my art class was like, "Are you drawing a pony?" And I was like, "Yeah, I get paid to do this." And that
the only acceptable excuse.
The thing was, the title card that I had as the reference picture was his "My Thoughts on Clopping."
Oops.
and they were like, "What the fuck is clopping, Chrissy?" And I was like,
Dancing.
"You know, the sound the horses make when they walk."
Yeah, and this guy made an entire video on it because he had thoughts on the sounds that hooves make.
And then they don't talk to me anymore. And then that was the day that I had to put a lock number on my iPad. Wow. So, but yeah, anything else has happened interesting in your life, Tim?
You don't have to.
Oh, no.
If you have, then give it to us, baby.
So I've got plenty to rant about.
Wait, is he frozen? He is frozen on a very beautiful face, I have to say.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Sometimes his NVIDIA or NDI thing just doesn't respond.
You're already unfrozen on Skype. Yeah.
There you go. But what do you have to rant about? Let it out. We are your therapy couch.
Dirty racket. Okay, this was all on Friday. This past Friday. One, I am trying to go over my finances through online banking because I would like to invest in a server so I can have access to all my files anywhere I go. Well, the bank is constantly replying, "You don't have authorization to access the account on this server." It's like, it's my money and you're holding on to it. You bloody well believe I have access to the server.
And it's gone.
Meanwhile, my security system is constantly going off saying it has no phone connection. So the security repairman says he'll be here within a window of time. Earliest is 2:00. He gets here at 5:30. It's a good thing I was drawing pretty ponies because I had very little else I could do. He gets here at 5:30, takes one look and says, "Oh, it's the problem with your phone line. See ya." Out the door.
Well,
so he tells you the problem, but he don't fix it?
He can't fix it.
Oh, boy.
So I call the phone company, and they transfer me 3 times between 2 guys. And they're all like, sorry, this directory is a little confusing. You work here. What does that say for a phone company? And, it turns out if you just call this number, you'll get right in touch with the landline. Sir? That's the number I called originally.
Lovely.
And so by the end of the day, I went out to dinner to, funny enough, the same place where the waitress asked about the pretty ponies. And I thought, if I get the wrong waiter, I'm not going to kill someone. I'm going to kill someone.
Yeah.
Blood on the dance floor.
Oh boy.
But I had a very good waiter, so no, my anger was satiated once I had some food. But I just like, what happened today? What's happening now? My computer turns on me. Funny thing is, I got it all fixed on Saturday, so I guess a good night's sleep saves you.
Or not.
But it's just like, sir, if you just call this number, it's the same bloody number.
Are you okay?
Well.
There.
Oh yes. Cyber pat on the head. Cyber Brohoof.
Oh no! Get out of here! This is a pony neutral cast.
Oh what?
Oh, he's
did nobody tell you?
You're not.
I told him, and his response was, "What do you mean? No pony? That's a thing."
What is this non-pony you speak of?
No, not a single pony here. Wait. Oh, this is actually the only one I need. Oh no, this is also one. Even so, it's.
Oh wait, my head covers up the only pony one.
Oh no, this is a Lyra down there. Wait, can I? No ponies here whatsoever.
I'm having trouble navigating the tempest of your lies.
Oh god, that's awful. That's awful. But you know what? After all this ranting, I think we should let you stew in your emotions. Max, what's been going on in the life of you?
Not too much, but I can tell about stuff that goes on in lives of other people. Haha! So, because before we asked you, Tim, we considered somebody else, so... But there's a special reason.
Oh, I'm Sloppy Seconds, I get it.
Yeah, but we are Sloppy Seconds for somebody who is leaving our life for an indefinite future, and you are still around, so that gives you a clear benefit.
Okay, don't act like this is Yuri's funeral, man.
Well...
It's the funeral of Yuri's independence, but it's not his funeral.
I don't know. I lost a bro. Anyways, but yeah, Keyframe was like, hey, do you think Yuri last chance before the calculated birth of his daughter? And I was like, yeah, it's estimated for Thursday, and there's a little bit of a wiggle room in both directions, so maybe this could be a little bit playing with fire. He got a baby. He's a dad since 2 hours now. So congratulations to Yuri, to Daddy Yuri.
Good for you. Have fun with sleepless nights.
Yeah.
So he was in a holding position, or rather a...
Oh God!
Damn it got cut out. It got cut out. He was in what?
A pregnant pause.
Ah.
Oh no! What have I done? I was the one who got this guest.
Yes.
I made this choice.
Yeah.
You did it to yourself, oh masochist.
I believe you even put him on the original list.
Shh. So, besides Yuri now being a daddy, do you have anything else?
Actually, no. It was one of those weeks which mostly put together.
Yeah.
Out of work and play. I don't know. Yeah, I actually played a lot of game, which will I come to in my media. Maybe one thing is, even so, Yuri has left me just for this random woman and the fruit of her belly, which
you
he
can't
contributed.
call the baby mama of your friend a random woman. I think there's a certain establishment there, given the fruits of their literal labor.
Fine. I don't know. Does she have an online nick? I don't know. Anyway, she's a friend of mine, so I'm a fruit of. I don't know. It says I try to translate the German word. But yeah, gaming and ties. Exactly, yes. And gaming and ties is not dead. I managed to not drop it instantly, so there was at least one more episode. Maybe even a second one on Tuesday before I then actually have to take a break, because then I'm off. But yeah, that's future Max's problem. That was my week. Anything you want to share from your week,
if I could summarize this week in one word, it's no, it's just preparing for TrotCon and BronyCon, working, dying. Oh yeah, let me talk about dying. I'm dying. I've been.
How is it?
It's an experience. You kind of just want to be held, and no one wants to hold you because they're afraid of catching whatever it is you're dying from. I do have a great story that's at my expense. So, to explain to people, hello, welcome to TMI Time with Chrissy. I've been throwing up for the past 2.5 days.
Yeah, that qualifies as TMI, but please continue.
Oh, it's been bad. I don't know why, just like since Friday at like 11 o'clock or midnight, not con Thursday, like turning into Saturday. I just kept, I couldn't hold down anything. And I was just like, okay, I vomed, and then I vomed again, and then I felt like, okay, I think I got whatever demon was inside of me out. And I was fine. I was sitting, I was working, Brett was going to sleep for like work or whatever. Everything was good. And then it was like, hey, Chrissy. Yes, buddy? You're not okay, dude. Oh! And then it was the worst. I'm not going to go into gory details, but it was the worst. And Brett woke up. And I'm like leaning against the bathroom wall, just kind of like looking up at the ceiling, thinking about every life decision I've made in the past decade. And he comes in and he's like, Chrissy, you okay? And in my delirium, because I'm pretty sure I let out every fluid in my body in one vom, I was like, hey, buddy. Do we have any Sprite? And he's just like, what? Or pretzels? First of all, I should not be asking for food with salt at this point. I'm already dehydrated enough. And he's just like, okay, Chrissy, I'm gonna get you your water bottle, okay? And I'm like, I'm gonna throw up again. And he's like, oh, cool, Chrissy, you go do that. Like, how do you respond to this person who's apparently, because I don't remember this shit, is basically the most calmest form of delirium. I mean, before this podcast, I was vomiting, and I just came on laughing. And it's just kind of, and it's like, I'm not envious of my friends, because they have to deal with me. I have to deal with myself, but I can internalize everything. Y'all have to deal with the actual me exposing, like, my Chrissy radiation, and then just kind of being like, what is wrong with this woman? Both physically and how she handles said physical problems. But yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's either stress, or I ate something, or there is a demon inside of me, which I can get to in my media because I watch something that involves demons.
Hey.
But to just say, don't worry, I'm sure I won't be dead by BronyCon. I want to at least live past Eurofurence, and then after that, I think I'm good. I could be like, peace, fam. Bye.
Sounds like a solid compromise.
It's a solid compromise. I get to hang out with bronies, and then I get to hang out with furries, and then
and then you're ready to die. or
then I'm ready to die.
Or then you are like, okay, now I can die. It can only go up from. Wait, no, it can only go up from there.
It can only go down. No, that's actually what? What?
Actually, I'm just thinking, if there's a demon inside you, this is the perfect cure. The demon's like, wait, are those brodies? Oh God, are those furry stuff? Even in the depths of hell, we can't handle that. Arrgh.
Oh God, the worst thing would be with the if it is a demon and I'm trying to excise it with bronies and furries, it's like, okay, I survived the bronies, I survived 2 bronies, I could still inhabit this body and take. Wait, why is she on a plane?
It's furry trash.
It's furry trash. Wait, she's spending money on this? She's buying furry liquor? What the hell is this artwork on the liquor? Oh no, I'm out of here. What was it?
There's a very widespread wisdom in the furry fandom, which I just made up, which is that all furries go to heaven. Simply because not even hell wants them.
No, that reminds me of a thing from a show. Like, I think it was like some kind of sitcom where it's like Christmas special or something, and the guy dies, and it's an argument between God and the devil for most of the. I think it was like according to Jim or something, and then he comes back and he's like, "Oh, are you gonna be a better person?" It's like, no, the God nor the devil wants me. It's like that's the reason I don't think I have died at this point. I don't think either one wants me, so they just keep me here, and that's how I survive all the weird shit that has happened in my life.
Well, I've always thought it's because you keep things on the up and up.
The up and up, Chuck. Is that the joke that you're going for? Okay. Anyway, media.
Who wants to go first? You already had a good segue. I mean, talking about a lot of gross and slimy stuff, which is pretty extreme, and now about the show, which is also extreme.
Slimer looks like a floating thing of vomit. But yeah, Extreme Ghostbusters.
Hey. Let me find the intro.
Given that I've been sick and stressed and everything, I just kind of stayed in my room like a hermit and watched Hulu. And on Hulu, you get the full series of Extreme Ghostbusters. And I remember watching this show a lot as a kid. I mean, it reran.
Same here.
But for people who don't know, you're going to hear a lot of that today. For people who don't know, Extreme Ghostbusters is the direct sequel to The Real Ghostbusters, another show that I watched a lot as a kid from the 80s. And it aired on Disney, which is so weird because some of these episodes do not seem like episodes of something that should air on Disney. But it's like in the future of the late 90s, early 2000s, Egon is a professor at a college, and he recruits a new team of Ghostbusters, which is these college kids. And I had to describe it to someone. I was like, Batman, Carlton, Twilight Sparkle, and Max Goof become the Ghostbusting team, because that's who voices all the characters. Like, the guy who plays Max in the Goofy movie is the wheelchair kid. Carlton, Alfonso Roberto, is the black guy. The guy who voices Batman in The Batman is the Hispanic one, and then Tara Strong is Kylie, the goth girl, aka Best Girl. But I really love this show, especially since the Ghostbuster that stays is Egon, who is objectively the best Ghostbuster. Fight me. And it's such a perfect Ghostbusters sequel. Like, a lot of people are always like,
"Oh, you're bugging out there. You're bugging out there a bit." Might repeat.
Am I there?
Yeah, you're back. You were just bugging out.
No, like, it's just a thing that so many people are like, you can't have a Ghostbusters without the original Ghostbuster team of Ray, Peter, Egon, and Winston. And it's like, no, you can if you do it well.
Yeah, it has been proven 20 years ago. The remake was just bad for other reasons.
Exactly. But I actually, when rewatching the series, I forgot how very dark it is, because I mean, the Real Ghostbusters did have dark moments in visual design, but it was still a goofy 80s cartoon. Let's be real here. There was a reason that cartoon turned into Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters after season 3. Let's not talk about that.
There is a reason why it is called Extreme.
Okay.
And you just lost all the respect.
I had respect. How did this happen?
Yeah, he had respect.
Up until that last sentence, I had like .001.
Well, Silva, what I can see, all I can say to this is, you better deal with it.
I have to deal with. I've dealt with this for over 100 episodes, Tim.
And you know what I can also do? I can take them away and What was it? Bamboozled. I still have deal with it glasses on.
Were you gonna say bazinga?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just learned about bamboozled recently. Sorry.
But
Honest-
anyways,
Hang on, I just gotta say, Max, you're really throwing shade.
yeah. You know what? You guys are so immature. Anyways,
Hi, Pot. Hi, Kettle.
yeah, shush. This is Vaporwave, which is better. But no, I look like a living personification of the original Ghostbusters music video, which is one of the best, worst things in the world. But no, the Extreme Ghostbusters, I think, was a show that really played with the supernatural and also the fact that this show takes place in New York because everyone acts like a New Yorker. It's disgusting. But, like, to show how dark the show is or, like, what they would do, the third episode, which is the episode that takes, the series has a two-parter opening. The third episode, so basically, this is what the regular show is like, was about hate crimes. Like, what happened was, this rabbi assistant summons a golem, which is like a clay monster, because the synagogue keeps getting vandalized by a bunch of college kids who write in spray paint on the synagogue, "Go home." Like, very explicit, like, they want, like, anti-Semitic shit. And it was actually like an episode that wasn't treated like a very special episode. It was like, yeah, this is a real thing that happens. So it didn't lose the tone of a Ghostbusters episode, which I respect, because a lot of these adult theme episodes of kids shows, they don't fit the tone of the actual show itself. They go out of their way to be different, which is like, if you want to talk about something that is in the zeitgeist and the norm of something, you should probably not make it out like it is this super foreign thing that happens, which is a difficult thing to do. But this show achieves it in its third episode in 1997. And it is a goddamn shame. This show lasted for barely a year. It only had one season. And it's so sad because this is a fantastic fucking show. And apparently they liked it enough because they did make like a comic series where Kylie, the girl one, actually is Egon's protege. But like, I really wish that if they did bring Ghostbusters back in some way, they would just bring back this show, because they had a likable cast of characters that actually acted like college kids. And you got Egon, who's still played by Maurice LaMarche, so he's still fantastic, and I love him. No one needs to look at my husbando list from December when I put that on Twitter, because Egon is right up there. But, and they bring back Janine as a normal fucking New Yorker person and not that crappy, girly Kathy Soucé shit that they did in the real Ghostbusters, because focus groups were like, oh, she's too scary for the kids. So they, like, took away everything that made her unique. Because, of course, they did. But, like, I really recommend that if you guys have Hulu, watch the Extreme Ghostbusters. There's not a lot of episodes. And it's really, in an era where you're starved for a good sequel to something from the 80s, this was the good thing that came out of it. Watch it. Like it. Know that the Ghostbusters can be revitalized. It's just that no one paid attention to it when it was on the air, and you don't know how good you have it till it's gone.
There are you kids today.
What? I'm promoting it.
No, you're sounding like me. Welcome to the old folks, Keyframe.
Yes, I finally counted as an old folk.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it when I was a child, when this show was actually on TV
For this minute,
20
right.
years ago.
But yes, so that was my media. Whichever one of you boys want to go next.
Have you figured a media yet for yourself, Silver?
Oh, I got tons of media for you.
Although one to present.
One to present. Okay, you want to do old folk talk? I'll give you old folk talk.
Oh boy, what is it?
The Trouble with Harry by Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh boy.
Watched this with friends last night, and it completely broke me. It broke my mind, because the opening is it's Alfred Hitchcock, so of course there's a dead body involved.
Of course there is.
Yep.
It's just this guy lying on his back in the middle of a field, ramrod straight, and he's discovered, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's a body."
Have I found the right one?
That's the one.
Oh.
That's the one. And basically like, "Oh, body. Well, I guess we better get to dig in the grave." Oh, it's rather inconvenient of him to die here. That's rather vexing, wouldn't you say? Oh, yes, I'd quite say that. And this whole thing is just a comedy of errors, which involves them first trying to keep it covered, then trying to reveal it to the authorities, then trying to cover it up again as they learn more about this hairy person and his interactions with the people of this little town, which basically involves unearthing and reburying the body like 3 times.
Weekend at Harry's, am I right?
Yeah, well, I think this is actually it was Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. I was making a joke.
Well, I love you for trying.
That's all I can ask
Shots
for.
been fired.
I try. Like everything in my life, I try. But yes, continue. Unearthing bodies.
I honestly think this was the inspiration for Weekend at Bernie's in some way. But the way that everyone's just so nonchalant about a dead body. Yep, that's the body. I was just like, what is wrong with you people? And I was like, I kept expecting this to be a murder.
Characters in an Alfred Hitchcock movie. That's what's wrong with them.
Well, I kind of went into this with the wrong attitude. I heard Alfred Hitchcock and I thought it was a mystery. Oh, they're going to try and find out who in this quaint little town is really a murderer. Nope, it's a comedy. They're all guilty in some way. They're all getting him dead. Let's
see. What happens when you take a horror suspense director and tell him to do comedy? I'm sure it's... I think like what the kind of humor it would go to is pretty predictable.
I mean, it's also what you kind of in the same vein, but the other way around. What you said about the Get Out guy, like a comedian turning horror.
It's a horror.
So this was horror turning comedy.
Yeah,
and it is funny, and I said I think I need to watch it again without my anticipation. But mostly I just watch these people like, what? There's not a single normal, rational human being amongst them. Which makes it part of the fun, but you're also like, oh yeah, and then there's it's a romantic comedy as well. Because, when romance is involved, of course there's a stiff. You're smiling. You're smiling. I can see
it's a smile of pain because I don't know how else to react.
Of course you don't. Well, at least you can feel it. But they like meet and are engaged by the end of the day. Just like, wow. That's almost as good as the Manchurian Candidate. Oh, I've known you for a month. Let's get married. What?
Well, the Manchurian Candidate also has a lot of other things happening that fuck with the brain, including actual, fucking of the brain. So.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the original Manchurian, not the remake. The original.
Well, didn't both of them involve brainwashing?
Oh yes. But
yeah, that's what I mean. Fucking of the brain.
Very, very different visuals. I can promise that.
Mm-hmm. Old soul us in our rocking chairs talking about these kids today. They don't understand good filmmaking.
They don't understand good brainwashing. You used to have to make them stare at a screen. Now you do it for free. Lazy crumbs.
Where they used to have to go to the Nickelodeon to get brainwashed by the liberal media. Now they just watch it on YouTube.
But yeah, who would you say for whom might this be an interesting one to pick up?
Oh gosh, this would be for anyone who's a fan of absurdist comedies, or have a thing for the classical. If you're looking for don't look for sense. Don't look for common sense. Don't look for natural reactions. This is pure absurdism, which makes it a lot of fun if you go in with that mindset or allow yourself to be carried along. Most of the time I was just going, what? 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 There you go.
So, sounds good. Yeah, leaves only me. I will keep it short, media-wise.
Because we got a great section for Q&A this week.
We got a lot of questions.
You did this.
Plenty of them on Twitter, actually.
I know.
But yeah, as I hinted to before, I spent a time of the previous week with continuing the campaign of They Are Billions, which this wasn't Wooten's media, right? We just talked about it when he was on the show, didn't we?
Yeah, he was just saying like that was something he was doing in his week, and then you guys nerded out about it, and I was just kind of sitting here like just loading bar, waiting for some time to pop in.
No, having actually continued a little bit further beyond the first few chapters and the first few levels, and not just looking at Wooten's Let's Play and imitating it, but without his trial and error.
What's the point of a game if you don't do trial and error?
It's very frustrating when you play for 1.5 hours in one level and then figure out, oh shit, the iron is over there. Oh no, here comes the final wave of zombies. I'm dead. Which is a part of this beautiful game. It is a fucking frustrating game. However, as somebody who got it back in the day before it had a campaign, and it only came with survival mode, so basically the entire tech tree was right there, and you started in the middle of a randomly generated map, so you could already be fucked over by the map layout because maybe important resources were not there. And you had no learning curve because, well, you got dropped into a survival map. As the name indicates, at the end you usually die. The campaign comes with a curve. You slowly get the levels get more difficult. The levels are designed, not randomly generated, but they are designed, so there are certain things to discover, and there's a certain intelligence and flow to it. And the levels are also have an individual thing. So there are a few coastline levels, so they have an actual coastline and better fishing and shit. Which is actually rather cool and takes a lot of the extreme frustration out of it. And it's still if you are somebody who does not like to play a hard game, it's a hard game, and I play it on challenging, which is I believe the third lowest of like 8 modi. So it gets really, and I don't dare to go higher with difficulty, but it has like a difficulty curve up there that is, well, insane is probably one of the names of the difficulty. But yeah, with the actual campaign, if you are out for an RTS challenge, steampunky look, even though it's a little bit more gritty, so I believe it's called Diesel Punk, and yeah, if you look at the guy, apparently it also has a little bit of Warhammer themes going on there. I would say, yeah, in the worst case, pick it up at a Steam sale. Once again, survival mode I dropped out of instantly. The campaign really gives it a flow. You can still tinker it out. And, I mean, okay, Wooten and I talked about it. But since it's official talking about it, what's cool about it, it basically has the thing that good old StarCraft had. The original StarCraft, like you have the RTS maps, but every now and then you have a hero map, where you have basically a single stronger character with maybe a few more characters, units you pick up along the way, and you explore a complex, a building or a facility. And so it's not base building, but instead it's really just like this exploring thing, which I really enjoy. Those are usually my favorite maps, especially since they are not this extremely frustrating and kaput so quickly.
He likes challenge, but not real challenge.
No, but you have to be so fucking aware. One fucking single zombie gets past your defense lines, and he reaches one of your civilian buildings, and the civilian buildings go down instantly and multiply the zombies. So in the moment when they reach it, it's over. It's instantly over. There's a wave breaking loose within seconds, literally, and then your command center is down and you're done for. And I had to restart a same map over and over because I had like...
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Within the first 20 minutes, I screwed up the same map over and over and over. You have 4 directions to defend in the beginning, and It's evil.
That sounds like you.
But it's fun. It's if you are a little bit of a masochist, if you're not yet completely sick and tired of zombies. However, I would say this is zombies done nicely, because you really have those hordes and swarms of those human-esque things you just slaughter by the billions. They have literally, fun fact, they literally now have in the starting screen a counter for the number of zombies killed by all players combined. And I believe we are in the tens of the billions by now, for real.
And I believe you just killed Chrissy.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
She did. It wasn't.
It took
It
you
wasn't.
5 years, but you ain't got me yet. Oh, excuse me. Pause. Were you displaying disappointment that you haven't killed me?
I like achievements.
Yeah.
I'm an achievement hunter. This is not personal.
Yeah, he's dying to make this work.
Okay, finish your media, because...
I'm already done. I gave my recommendation.
Okay, good. Hey, guys, welcome to the Q&A. We're going to move past the fact my best friend wants me dead.
No, I don't want you dead. Just in case you do die, I want to have the achievement for it.
That's just murder.
No, that would be me doing it. I just want to be the cause of it when it happens.
Where's the achievement in me dying that you would receive? There's my question for the Q&A. How does that work?
I don't know. How do many of those achievements work? Have you read those achievements on Steam? Some of them are really, really stupid.
I'm just explaining. If I die...
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you had no hand in it...
Then it's not an achievement on my behalf. That's true.
But if you had a hand in my death, you would be accountable. Thus, that would either be murder or manslaughter, which is not an achievement. That's a punishable offense.
No, if I just make such a bad pun that it breaks you, this is neither murder nor manslaughter. At least you will find no judge deciding that way. I tried and won.
I'll judge.
Oh, damn it, I'm dead.
Yes, but. I don't know, you're trying to kill her, get away with it, which would be an achievement. But actually, it's funny, on Steam, they do list, if you accidentally kill your friend, it's a grave achievement.
Okay, welcome to the Q&A. We got a lot of questions on Twitter this week.
Yeah,
so, first question, because it's the first one I see. Question for all three of y'all. What is your least favorite snack and drink? So what is the worst thing you've ever put in your moof?
Also, we should try to go through the ones that are possible quickly.
I know, that is a quick one.
Yes.
It's literally just saying a thing.
You sure you're on Twitter?
I am on Twitter. That was the first one. It was in a thread because the person forgot to put #AskAwkward.
Ah, this explains why I don't see it.
It's from JRog1989.
Ah.
Oh, okay. I can name some snacks from my youth.
Okay, go ahead.
One was, I thought I was having some beef jerky. Turns out it was teriyaki beef jerky. Very bad teriyaki beef jerky, and it was horrible. The only silver lining to this was that later my brother showed up with like 3 pieces in his hand, took a bite, and I got to see his expression. So younger brother watching the elder sibling suffer. It's a good day.
Oh boy.
The worst drink was when I went to go pour some orange juice, and it felt strange because it felt heavy. Well, it turns out my mother had used the orange juice carton as a grease trap. So I had this gray sludge pour into the glass, and I wasn't yet in my college.
Drank it?
No, I wasn't in college yet.
Hey.
But yeah, I decided no thanks. I'll try again later.
What about you, Maximilian?
Snack. Yeah, I'm already working on it, like thinking wise. That's a problem. I'm a walking trash can. I eat most stuff you put in front of me.
I've seen.
I know, right?
I've witnessed this. I witnessed this deplorableness.
Yeah, I made it.
You eat pizza with a knife and fork. That's how bad you are.
Don't go to New York.
Yeah.
Don't go to New York, Max. They'll kill you.
I mean, the fact I haven't killed him yet is the shock.
Or John Oliver, demand your birth certificate.
But yeah, it kind of turned into a running gag now that I keep food poisoning myself because I frequently do it. My latest scheme is coffee at the office. So because we are startup in Berlin, obviously we have this hipster oatmeal stuff instead of milk as an optional one. But I tried soy milk. Soy milk doesn't go. It's not. No, if you put soy milk in your coffee, you taste it soy milk. The oat shit is really convincing. However, because it's not milk, it doesn't get sour when it gets bad.
Uh-oh.
the good
Do
thing
you drink expired oat milk?
Yes, in my coffee.
Ew.
The good thing is I have a still very resilient stomach, so I felt a little bit. I was like, it tastes different than yesterday. So after my pot was done, I felt a little bit of the rumbles in my stomach, and I was like, "Hey Bart, I food poisoned myself again." But it's usually done with a little bit of grumble, and then I'm good. So, but still, in theory. This is completely not an answer to the question asked, but I cannot recall what I do not.
Well, I mean, expired. Tim just talked about eating terrible beef jerky. So if it's a terrible, as long as you acknowledge that drinking expired
accidentally.
milk is.
But the problem is the question: what is my least favorite? I still eat and drink it even so it is expired, so it is not my least favorite yet. I mean, accidentally. I do not do this intentionally to explain this.
Okay, so what is like the worst thing you've ever tried? That's probably the best way you put it.
I'm trying to. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I really don't like, but right now I'm like, I'm for crying out loud, I'm eating sunflower
seeds.
Yes.
He's practicing sedition.
Either way, okay.
I gave you an alternative answer. This had nothing
yeah, your
to do with the
answer
question.
was
It's the
something
best
bad. I was going to say a similar story. Really, I do not like thinking about food right now. I wonder why. No, the worst thing I've ever had in my gullet is a story from my youth. Don't you dare say 2 weeks ago, Tim. I could see.
Oh, it wasn't. 3 hours.
But we already know it's a depressing story.
Oh, I mean, it's hilariously depressing. Welcome to my stand-up special. No, it must have been like sophomore year of high school. So like my second year. And we were going down to Florida to Disney World, and we were stopping at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Now, here's the thing. I'm a bottomless pit in the fact that I can eat pretty much it. I have an iron stomach, believe it or not, I do. And I could eat any combination of food. My nickname in school used to be Shaggy for a reason. I would just pile food and just eat it all at once. And we were eating at this place, and I had plates upon plates of food. But they had one specific thing that I just couldn't get enough of, which were these buttered dinner rolls, and they were delicious. They were gleaming with grease. It was America personified. And I had like 7. And but the thing was, after eating the 7th one, I was like, I don't know if I feel good. And we were walking into the Greyhound like bus we had to go down to Florida. And I was like, hey, I'm going to be right back. Bolt back into the buffet, run to the bathroom, vom everything out. And then I come back out, grab another dinner roll and go back on the bus. So I objectively, I would not eat those dinner rolls again. Subjectively, I still took one to bring on the bus. So this says less about the dinner rolls and more about young Chrissy's appetite.
Which is to roll with it.
Which is to roll with it. So there's the answer. Now one on Discord. Hold on, I gotta click on that and click on AWKWARDCast. Let's see. Okay, here's one from Enigma. Apparently, we have a continuity person in our midst who loves him some continuity. What shows are, in your opinion, aside from the Pones, do you think has good, bad, or moderate continuity throughout its run? Answers can be both cartoons or anime. So I guess which one was is really good at keeping it, and which one is god awful.
Good keeping it was Justice League, especially when it got to Justice League Unlimited. They really built stuff up. Let's see here. For bad continuity, and it breaks my heart to say it, G1 Transformers. I've invented this mist that will turn my Decepticons invisible, and I'm never going to use it again in the span of the show.
Could have been useful a few times, I guess.
This is it. This is the moment. The return of Optimus Prime in season 3. They scarred a generation so badly they had to do a resurrection. They say, too bad Autobots can't fly. Guess what they were doing in the very first episodes?
Didn't they fly from their planet to Earth?
Well, they had a spaceship for that, but they were off into the wild blue yonder on their own power. Of course, so that's bad continuity. Offensively bad continuity is Voltron Force.
Oh, not the one that's on Netflix. The one that was before that.
No, that's okay. It is amazing how many times Voltron has been dragged through the mud before we got to this gem of Voltron Legendary Defender.
Yeah.
I mean, you had
the first 2 seasons were amazing, and I loved it, and then it fell apart, and
it went some changes, but believe me, it's still of a much higher quality than Voltron: The Third Dimension or Voltron Force. Or Voltron Force. Oh, it hurts. Here's the thing. There's an episode where they introduce basically a fast forward through the transformation, combined into Voltron. And this kid, Daniel, he says, I can't believe the monsters never attack you when you're forming Voltron. And I'm sitting here thinking back to the original, which I watched. They did that the very first time they combined. Numero uno. You wouldn't have had to watch more than 3 episodes. You didn't do your homework, did you? The fanboy rage within me was stewing so terribly.
I watched the movie.
It's like flames. Flames on the side of my head. Yep, there it is. The not Voltrons and their proteges. Who, I feel bad because Daniel was voiced by Vincent Tong, who I've had the pleasure of meeting. He is a fantastically nice guy. Deserves to be voicing much better characters than that.
You could say that about a lot of voice actors.
It's true. Well, okay, there's a voice actor who will voice a character who's so rotten and evil you kind of love to hate them. And then there's really good voice actors who are just voicing awful characters. I'm sure I've never met or heard of him, but Jar Jar Binks' voice actor did not deserve that.
No,
he did not.
Yeah, that's very true. So those were your answers. Yeah. Let me think. The thing is, I can't really think of one that I have a distinct memory of terrible continuity, because a lot of the shows I grew up with were very episodic shows, so the continuity is kind of moot there. Always pull one out of... Oh, am I frozen there? There we go. I can always pull one out of my ass and just be like, why don't the villains in Sailor Moon ever realize that they all get beaten by the same methods each time? I mean, that's a very fair point. And I guess there's also like ones with like Pokemon where they interact with the same Pokemon all the time, and yet there are just times where they forget which Pokemon exists. But, it's still just the things of you don't know if those are just translation problems. Except the Sailor Moon one. That one's just bad writing. But
sandwich show or whatever. Like, you have the season opener where the villain gets established and whatever the theme for the season is. Then you have the end of the season where they defeat the villain of the season. And in the middle they have just one episode after another with a monster of the week without any progression at all. So good old time.
Filler.
No, Sailor Moon. I mean,
Sailor Moon, yeah.
Oh, but Tangled is probably a candidate for bad or mediocre.
But no, I mean, it's a good show. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good stuff in it. It's just the thing of like, you know what? Star versus the Forces of Evil is also a candidate for shitty-ass continuity. Like, just saying. Also, just fucking throwing the baby out with the bathwater near the end. But that's another discussion. But an example of good continuity, I would say, is Steven Universe. You can make a lot of complaints about certain things in Steven Universe, but continuity is not one of them. They stay very strict to their story, and they are also just great at establishing things. Like I recently rewatched a lot of the first few episodes of the show, and you can actually find a lot of establishing stuff in the very beginning of like stuff like Garnet being a fusion, or how the establishing of meeting Connie, because in the first episode you can actually see the glow stick bracelet that Steven gives her in like the 7th episode. And then there's shit like episodes that people don't like Cheeseburger Backpack actually comes back to be something that they reflect on of how much Steven has grown up. And it's so good and I love it. And it's a good example of serialized animation, and I love it so much. But those are my answers. What about you, Maximilian?
I'm totally not just checking my Netflix in order to find examples.
Oh yeah, you looking this way as if you were looking at all 3 of your screens. Totally didn't give that away.
I know. No, but example of I would argue good continuity is except for the thing they did in between the seasons is Young Justice. At least the first season. The first season is absolutely glorious. Like, also it has a lot of build-ups and secret things. There's a lot of mysteries to discover.
You cannot say it has good continuity if they do a non-necessary time jump in between the seasons.
Yeah, that's the point I was. That's why I said the first season.
Yeah.
Because they also build up stuff. It all ties together very neatly in the end. But yeah, I mean, is a time jump in and of itself bad continuity if they still wrap up and fill the gaps in between properly? I mean, as a narrative tool, it was absolute bullshit. I mean, I made a video about it before I made videos, and you know what? I'll link it in the description down below. What was it? My problem with Young Justice, I believe is the name of the video. No, my pen is leaving me. Please, pen, stay with me. I like you. I love you. You're my only friend, pen. Don't listen.
In fairness, Chris, it's because you'll soon be dead.
Well, he already is dead, so I guess that's an achievement. I got my achievement. You're fine, Chrissy. I got my achievement. The pen is dead. I did it with my own hands, literally. So I already fulfilled my dream of killing my best friend, so you are fine now. He's literally dead. I cannot take notes any longer. So, except for more pens, obviously.
But yeah, so what about you?
So yeah. So first season, pretty good shit. Now I need something with bad continuity. Does Miraculous Ladybug count?
Oh yeah, totally does.
I mean.
Oh my god.
Okay, we established that. I guess I don't need to go into detail. Your reaction was just so glorious that it says more than a million words on my end could say. So let's jump on to the next question.
There's a reason many times when we watch that show, we've put it into the context of a drinking game because wow. But yeah, next question.
Yeah, I got a few rapid fires with yes and no questions.
Okay, cool.
Okay, where am I? I found that. So, from Mary Cruz, for Silver Quill, will you, Dr. Wolf, Firebrand, and Lightning Bliss be making another Mystery Theater 3000-like episode?
Tentative, yes.
Okay, next, I saw at least 2 of them. Did any of you watch Stranger Things Season 3? Not yet. Oh, you did? Okay.
I said no. I said not yet.
Oh, me also not yet. Okay, we answered another question. God, we are on fire.
Yay!
Oh boy.
And maybe one from our non-local Australian bean boy or beanstalk boy.
That was the one I was going to ask.
Oh, then you ask. Then you go ahead.
Yeah, Anthony C asks, What is Silver's most valuable lesson in art design? This one's for you, my dude.
Well, depends. Okay, I'm going to give you two answers, one for video and one for visual graphic design. Video, the best advice I ever got was say dog, see dog. If you're talking about a topic, make sure you're displaying it on the screen. It's somewhat startling how many people don't follow that rule. In art, one of the best lessons I learned was that it's always easier to take stuff out than try and force it into the composition. So don't be afraid if you're going overboard on your first draft. It's easier to take elements out. For a unique visual idea, think of Tony Stark in the first movie going over the Iron Man stuff and just lifting out parts of the armor and chucking it in the trash. That's a great part of the creative process.
Okay.
And also Stephen King, I guess this also applies to writing. One of the best pieces of advice he ever got is that the final draft is your last version minus 10%.
Okay, so basically go over it and trim the fat. I have to do this every single time when I write a script.
You have to trim the fat of your scripts.
As do I.
Oh, no, I'm making more of a jab at him saying that he does that all on his own.
Exactly.
Oh, I see how it is now.
Exactly.
Oh, no, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I found another yes or no question.
Okay, go ahead.
From Mr. Jasper Pie.
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I know this question.
As a fellow butt monkey, I wish to know, have you ever woken up with your head in a pickle jar remembering that you hate pickles and start asking yourself what the hell happened last night?
No, Joey, because I'm not a freaking meme rage comic from 2009.
I mean, on the one hand, I do like pickles, so I cannot really relate to the question, but on the other hand, yes, frequently.
On the other hand, is a pickle jar.
Yeah, I woke up with my hand in the pickle jar and asking myself what happened last night while eating the pickle for breakfast, obviously.
You know, it's not a surprise that you like pickles, because they're essentially zombie cucumbers.
It's true. I feel a deep connection.
And my answer would be no, because I frickin' love pickles.
Yeah.
I love them a whole lot. So I wake up in the morning, there's a pickle jar in my hand. I was like, ooh, free pickles. What happened last night? Don't care. Past Silver Quill's problem.
Y'all disgusting. Sometimes. No, sometimes I like pickles, but I don't like them enough that I'll wake up with a jar in my hand and then my hand smelling like brine for the next week. But no. Yes?
It's a little jarring, but you get used to it.
Okay, next question!
Back to Discord, I guess. Discord is your domain. I stay on Twitter.
Ronnie Prime Gamer actually asked the Silver Quill. To Silver Quill, where did you, Keyframe, and ANY first meet? But I guess those are two separate stories of how you met me and how you met Max.
That is true. So tell both of them.
Okay.
Then again,
very true.
Do we have a question? Do we actually have a proper story? If not, you have to make one up now.
A proper story. Well, it was a dark and stormy night.
But I believe you met Key first, so let's keep it Or did you?
Not exactly. Okay. Here's kind of what I remember. Keyframe reached out and contacted me, I believe through Skype, asking to take part in a live stream. This was before she'd even done reviews, before Keyframe was really Keyframe.
Fun fact. My story, how I met Keyframe, is identical. Even the same podcast.
There you go. And we did it and had a lot of fun. And so we talked about doing a collab. And so that is how I ended up drawing Keyframe's OC for a little while. And also how I drew Silver Quill passed out and hung over on a mountain of bottles. Good times. Family show.
Yep. That is basically how we first met. And and it was the same live stream that I met the guy down here, who had the very great distinction is that even the day he wasn't on the phone, because that stream was like a weekend stream, so it took place multiple days, he would just stay in the fucking stream chat and troll everyone, including Pa Duncan from music movies and everyone, all the different people I had, because I didn't just have brony people, but
Now, if I recall right, the first time we met in person was BabsCon 2015 or 2014?
Yep. No, 2015.
2015. Because she came running up, and I think she nearly broke my old man's spine with a hug. I mean, it was a flying tackle. It was wonderful. Now,
and I almost killed Doc the same way, and he had a much more adverse reaction of, what do I do?
Now, Max, I did not meet in person. First, I became very much aware of him by watching his review videos. And I was also very pleased that I believe one of the first comments I ever got on my videos was, "Holy mother of Buck, instant subscribe."
Oh yeah, that sounds like me.
Only one thing, you're doing your videos in this black void. I think you should use a background. And so it was based on Max's advice that Silver Quill now invades every part of a show's location by having a background.
Hashtag blame ANY.
A lot of actually Max's first meetings, because he did a similar thing with me, is that one of the first things was giving me a piece of advice to center align my vectors. Because I was a newbie, and then he spent a huge amount of time complaining about Voice of Reason's vectors for those exact same reasons.
Because voice does not only for people who don't get a look behind the curtain. Voice of Reason does not only have not centered OCs, which is, I don't want to shit on a certain show, but a certain show has a big problem with not centered OCs, but then again they turned it into an entire art style, so I guess it's okay in and of itself again. But yeah, voice does not do it. He doesn't go into it. He has even different sized OCs, which is in general fine, because I also started out with random OCs of different sizes and whatnot, but eventually I went there and unified them. But he has a similar OC but in different sizes. It's like it's horrible to edit a video with this. This is all I'm saying. But sorry.
But yeah, the first time I think you met Max was Nightmare Nights.
It was Nightmare Nights.
Yeah, that's also the first person meeting.
You were cosplaying as the demo.
Yes.
Even had a bottle and everything.
Thank you, Big Apple Pie, for
he did a good job there, putting it together.
Actually, we met Max in person at the same con, because that was the first time I met Max in person.
Everybody, for more or less everybody, it was the first time to meet me in person, since this was the first time I came over there.
At least you didn't. At least he didn't have to experience me almost having a panic attack because I went to the wrong airport, and then I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I just got out of customs. Why are you crying? Looking down like this because I am only 4 feet tall. But yes, Twitter question.
Yes. A season of the Wicked asks, and this might turn into a yes or no question after all. What are your thoughts of the Fruit Basket reboot so far?
Never seen it.
Me neither. I actually checked Twitter after reading, Google after reading this, and it sounds interesting enough as a concept for an anime, but yeah, no, I have never seen it.
Okay, I'm going to answer this in the nerdiest way possible.
Oh yeah.
The only Fruits Basket of which I'm aware is the super form in Kamen Rider Gaim.
Yeah, this is very nerdy that nobody except you will get.
No one will get it.
Well,
but I've not yet watched.
You guys never seen Kamen Rider?
I've seen many a Kamen Rider.
I'm talking to the boy downstairs.
Yeah, but nobody will remember the Fruit Basket, I assume. Also, I haven't watched Kamen Rider. I just know that Power Rangers steals the clips from it, doesn't it?
Oh,
That's
God.
Super Sentai, you dumbass.
Matt, never go near Tokusatsu fans. Stay far away from Tokusatsu fans, Max. They will eat you. They will destroy you.
Oh, yes, they will.
But to be fair,
yes.
Season of the Wicked had an alternative. Like, if you haven't seen it yet, favorite anime of 2019 so far?
Can I? Well, okay, it's not an anime of 2019. Because really, besides My Hero Academia, which is not a 2019 anime, the only other anime that I've partaken in is One Punch Man Season 2, which is not good. But I will say this in the terms of stuff coming from Japan. Fucking hype for the Lupin the Third movie. Oh my god, I love it. I've been watching that trailer every fucking day since it's come out, and I'm so... First of all, I grew up on Lupin the Third. I had did I have a VHS? I had a VHS or DVD of the Ghibli movie of it, or Miyazaki movie, and Lupin's the only anime that has ever influenced my art style in any way, and I'm so hyped. Anyway, that was my answer.
Do you have?
Well, first off, when you say the Ghibli movie, all I'm thinking of is Homestar Runner. Oh, Ghibli. Okay. I have really fallen out of touch with anime. I watched Ultraman on Netflix, the Ultraman anime, and that was pretty good. Yeah. And I've only seen clips, but SSSS Gridman is getting high praise, and I really love what I've seen of it so far. So sooner or later, I'll get a Crunchyroll account to watch the whole thing properly. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Denim Ninja in the chat, who has heard of Gaim. In fact, we talked about Gaim and Running of the Leaves. So somebody gets my joke. Somebody gets me.
Excuse me. I get it. I am a nerd for things that I really am too young to be. Old soul Keyframe.
Old soul Keyframe, old in every way, Silver Quill. Meh.
Oh, but young at heart.
There we go. I like that.
But what about you, Maximilian? Any new animus that you have been weeping out on?
I might be defeating Silver Quill here by being even more out of touch with anime.
Oh.
I believe I haven't watched, except for AWKWARDCast Season 2, but then again,
That's
is also...
not an anime.
First of all, yes, it is. Second of all...
it is, but it's the most non-anime anime.
But it's also not a 2019 one, so it wouldn't count anyways, because it was just a Season 2. And with that, I believe I haven't even watched an old anime this year for the first time or something. Wow.
We're all sad. All of our things were
out
of touch. Haven't watched anything. Something based on an old cartoon. Trailer for a fucking anime that's been around since the 70s.
If this continues, I have to hand in my otaku card.
Well,
you had one?
Is this a negative critique of anime in general that a lot of the new doesn't hold people?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I watch Gigak, and I watch Gigak's videos about anime, and he brings points like this up as well. So it's, the overflow is kind of, the over-saturation of the market is kind of not good.
I mean, the only animes that really intrigue, me and the general zeitgeist are ones that, don't follow the usual mold of anime, because you have, My Hero, which has a very unique looking style for an anime. And then you got fucking, at least in my opinion, Space Dandy, which also does not fit the usual style and has a distinction of being made in conjunction for an American release. So, and also Agretsugo is really popular, and anything Studio Trigger, which is anything that doesn't fit that standard oversaturated mold. The Shantae opening doesn't count.
Oh, wow. Wow, you shut him down, but good.
I knew exactly. I can connect the dots. I know context clues. I had an A in 8th grade English. Are you okay, Max?
I'm becoming too predictable.
No, I just known you for 5 years. The predictability is just inherent.
But yeah, I have an idea, and you, nope. I haven't even said a single sentence. Anyways.
Yes.
I guess next.
Something.
I guess it's the next.
Oh no, Tim was going to say something. Inconsiderate jerk off.
Oh, it's all good. I just had a thought. You could take this podcast, freeze the frame before Keyframe shuts you down, and just play Pee Wee Herman. Connect the dots. La 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 la.
It's Carrie Busey. No, or it's the To Be Continued thing from JoJo, where it's okay, but next question
Discord.
from Discord is from Noodlefuck.
Well,
Odie, I'm never going to say your actual name. It is just going to be what you rename yourself in Discord. Some mysteries haunt us even after they get resolved. What's a resolution, finale, or conclusion in a form of entertainment that you get back to thinking about? does it have to be negative or positive? Because I can think of a lot of ones where I'm like, fuck you.
I guess both counts. Whatever finishing of a show stuck to you so strongly that it comes to the forefront, being it good or bad.
Okay. To tie for bad is Weird Mageddon and the Starverse series finale. I think back on those being, God, these shows deserved better endings. Because I'm with Max. I didn't like Weird Mageddon. And I really did not like the Starverse finale. It doesn't take a lot for me to go on rants about that fucking finale. It doesn't take a lot to get me to rant about just that last part of the last season.
Or anything for that matter.
Well, I mean, okay, you're right. However, especially the end of season 4. But for good, that I think back on is the season finale to the first season of Final Space. That is one of the best season finales ever. Like that left. I mean, there's a lot of moments in that show that just left us sitting there in silence.
That's true, but then again, does a punch to the gut cliffhanger really count? With the fucking spotlight going on, like boom, cut, and done for years.
I mean, okay, yeah, you have a fair point, but I guess for an actual finale,
but I guess it also kept you thinking to it, so.
I mean, it kept me thinking to it. I guess the other one would probably, because I think of movies, probably the end of Spider-Verse. Like, there's nothing that makes me feel so. I left that theater feeling so goddamn happy and satisfied, walking out in my bell-bottom jeans being like, God, I can't imagine a better way to end that movie. But yeah, those are mine.
Yeah. You want to go first, Silver?
Okay, well, let's see here. Most satisfying ending would be Game of Thrones, because I didn't have to sit through anything else. I was like, I'll never have to deal with this again. I'm so happy, yet filled with rage.
I watched the last season of Game of Thrones just to realize why were people complaining. Why did you guys, who hurt you that you guys wanted to go through all that?
The writers of Game of Thrones, apparently. Okay,
Mark. Here's the thing. The first 4 seasons were good because they were based on the books, and then it drizzles out, and if you only watch the last season, yeah, this is really the worst experience you can get, I guess.
That's like just watching the Walking Dead, because it's The Walking Dead. It hasn't been good since fucking season 2. Anyways, continue, Tim.
Well, I will say, in terms of a satisfying ending that really does nothing to actually end, the book Game of Thrones, the first in the Song of Ice and Fire, wow, the first of many gut punches. You talk about not watching anime that fits the mold. You like to break free. Game of Thrones broke so much of the fantasy mold, and yet it worked so well as a result. It's like instantly I had to get the next book, which turned out was pretty easy to find because Martin started this 19 years ago. I'm starting to worry if he will actually finish. Negative endings, however, good gravy. It's all over the place, and most of it is related to anime. One of the earliest examples was Zoids Zero. It was just known as Zoids here in America.
Yeah.
It was the Pokemon battle of the day, quirky characters fighting equally quirky rivals. But all throughout they had the ultimate X-Zoid, this mysterious, powerful Zoid, and then they reveal at the end that it's a really special Zoid that only chosen ones can pilot. No, duh. Where did it come from? Who made it? What is it doing? Where is it going to go from here? Is it illegal technology? Is this going to change the character's life more? Who cares? Buy our toys. And then, more recently, just because this is like, you tease, Tiger and Bunny, a series that I dearly love. It wasn't in 2019, so that couldn't be my answer. But they reveal the existence of Ouroboros. I hear it pronounced so many ways. And they hint at this mystery organization, then they have a big movie, and they're not involved, but there's a little teaser at the end saying, oh yeah, they're still out there. Woo! When's the next season? I don't know. Are you going to talk about it? I don't know.
No.
You're just doing this to fuck with me?
What about you, Maximilian?
So much to pick from. The sad thing is that I have mostly bad ones come to mind.
Yeah.
It's part of the human nature. How do we learn? We learn from mistakes. So negative experience have a tendency to stick more with us. But yeah, examples. I mean, Battlestar Galactica is a mess all the way through, including the mindfuck of an ending. But there's that stupid for that coming.
Because you're making it that stupid about Battlestar Galactica?
Yes, the rebooted one. The rebooted one. Oh, I have.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the OG.
No, I have never watched the OG, so shame on me. I'm judging the reboot or the follow up or whatever it's supposed to be on its own merits. Exactly, the catastrophe, the abomination, the disappointment.
I know exactly
TV show,
what you're talking about. I get you.
The TV show inferior to its own board game. How can a show be inferior to its own board game equivalent? How?
Simple. You don't have good writing.
Hey.
And you have the monopoly on stupid.
That's also true. No, other stuff. Two interesting examples for shows that got cancelled but got a tie it all up movie.
Firefly.
That is the one, and Farscape would be the other. And I wanna. This is not a. I constantly try to translate this German saying into English. I want to break a lance for it, but it's not a saying in English, is it? Still not. I make it one. So easy.
We can't. We don't know what the hell you're talking about, so we can't give you a confirmation otherwise.
Breaking a lance for somebody, like making a case for it, like talking in favor of.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah, not different connotation.
You just said making a case for it.
Yeah, whatever.
That is a form of a phrase.
It has a kind of different connotation, but yeah. Point being, both shows got cancelled. Then a while later got movies to wrap it all up, to wrap up the loose ends. Oh, I'm here.
Yeah,
we lost you for a sec.
Oh, okay.
You were like. And then stopped.
Okay, I have it returned. No, the thing what they did horribly with Farscape was that they tried to cram the entire planned plot points of one or two remaining seasons all into one or maybe 2 1.5 hour TV specials. And it's a rush job. You get introduced to an entire civilization that gets murdered 10 minutes later. Like super, holy fuck, who on what speed train am I on? And it really, it introduced concepts that they missed just a moment later. Yeah. So it was really bad. I mean, it still had, because the last official season ended on such a brutal cliffhanger that it still had kind of like the feeling of catharsis, of closure, but it was done so bad. And when you take, on the other hand, the Firefly movie, which is also not loved by everybody, and I would also say, yeah, the series is better than the movie, but the movie still, it was a nice action flick. It still visited the old characters, even if it killed them off very quickly. Some of them, no spoilers.
Oh,
but yeah, it at least. And the sad thing.
I'm sad.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of a silly thing is that in the series, you have the threat of the guys with the blue gloves. The blue glove guys as the secretly antagonists. They got killed off in a filler comic in between the show and the movie. Like, they just got killed off in a random explosion. Like, the hell? And in the movie, they then have basically one character who fulfills the same role, just a little bit more philosophical and action-leaning, so a different tone, but he fills the same role in the movie, replacing the guys. But yeah, I like the Firefly movie. I like, once again, more the flick, and not as a fantastic piece of cinema, but it was at least watchable, unlike the Farscape one. Okay, this was enough of a rant. Next question.
I was just gonna say special mention of just what the fuck endings that I go back to thinking about. Both endings of Evangelion.
Oh, they're still not ending.
I'm just going to put I put a thing that's going to be in the description of the video, which is the best way to describe the series ending to Evangelion, which is the voice actor Shinji ranting during the credits, being like, so what just happened? Is Mom my mom, or I'm stuck on a giant blue ball.
Here's the song.
Okay, I must not worry. Let's analyze the situation. Where the fuck do I go? The movie better answer this stuff. And it's like, oh, the movie did something.
Oh yeah.
The movie did a lot of things.
I put the link to it in the description down below.
That is a fantastic piece of media. But no, next question, which is a Discord. No, it would be a Twitter question.
Oh, it's a Twitter one. Okay, in this case, actually,
you people asked a lot of fucking questions.
Oh yes. So we can do a handful more. Here's an interesting one.
Oh boy.
From MLP Trinary.
Yeah.
What's the most unexpected thing about you, Silver? What's something you haven't shared before?
Give us a secret.
I'll give you a secret?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm going to turn this around a little. First, I want to query you two. What was the thing about me that surprised you both the most when you met me?
Oh, that's an interesting turnaround. I was just expecting you to push the same question back on us, but okay, first thing about you. How
are you alive? Why are you this annoying in real life?
No,
what the hell's what's that smell?
No. I guess the thing that surprised me the most is that how good of an improv role player you are in D&D. Because in Josh's campaign, Edmund was one of the most interesting characters. So
second to Jade.
Shut up. But no, I guess that was the most surprising thing. Like, I know that you do really good scripted content, but I've never sat down for Hooves Line or anything. So seeing how good you are at on the spot improv that's not just all comedy, it was surprising in a good way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I would say how old you are, and I'm going to turn this around into a compliment.
No, how you doing that?
Oh, behold. No, because I knew you primarily first from the videos, from your videos, and I had from the energetic way and the liveliness, and so I would have expected somebody like younger in their 20s, but no, you bring this energy at your age. So yeah, your age surprised me.
Don't act like he's like a geriatric man, like. Oh, I mean, okay, now we're just encouraging him. But what? But what?
No,
what
wait.
Oh no.
Oh, there he goes.
Yep.
There he goes.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's the Kane Kichi game.
Oh yeah.
Where'd my headphones go?
Okay, mine is not an old main Kane, so it doesn't really count.
Well,
I don't have a cane.
This was a gift from Kichi at BronyCon, 2017, I think, or was it 16?
2017.
The one where I was.
She gave one to Anthony C. too, so.
You get off my lawn. Okay, but what do people usually surprised about me? It's kind of funny. People are stunned when they learn that I'm kind of a slob. I got a lot of clutter around my home.
Mm-hmm.
And they're surprised when I have a dirty sense of humor. People, for some reason, think I'm this hyper family friendly all the time.
Oh, no.
They always do
so
this in this fandom.
And so I kind of break, but also liberate them.
I think it's because you associate with Josh and Doc a lot, so like they just assume you're at that same level they are.
Well, I will say there was one moment where I was a little sad. This was at BabsCon, and it was at a time where I was still wearing a mask and a feathered wig. Mm-hmm. And this young boy asked if I could see the face behind it. So I took it off, and you could kind of see the light in his eyes die a little. I took some of the mystery out of life, and I think he was like, "Oh, that's it. It's just
What did he expect to see? The Phantom?"
I think he was expecting like a silver quill behind the silver quill mask. You know that old saying, "Never meet your heroes." I don't think that's true. Do meet your heroes. Do be disillusioned just a little, so that you can see that they're human. Because if you make someone other than human, you're really setting yourself up to be hurt.
Yeah.
And it's okay to see the flaws in your heroes because that makes them more human, i.e., we can all achieve something more.
That is very true. I mean, usually when people meet me in person, they're like, "Oh, I expected you to be taller." Well, anyways, next question. From Discord. Let's see. From Discord, I think, here we are, from Magical Dude. How do you manage your time? Because you always seem so busy. This would be more for Silver and Key. Why you don't think A&Y is busy?
But
yeah, how do you guys achieve time management?
What's time management?
Yeah, I was going to say, the answer is poorly. I guess. Yeah, you go first, Tim.
Mostly it's just like looking at what needs to happen right now. What's coming up in the most immediate that needs to be given priority. Mm-hmm. Usually when I'm doing it, I can percolate on things. I mean, I get scripts are always in the back of my head as I'm working on stuff, but usually it's just prioritization or what is demanded of me right now. And so it's probably, if I were robotic, I could probably get a lot more done, but then I wouldn't really be human.
Being human's overrated.
I don't know. It's worked for me so far.
Eventually the ways of organic life will seep into the sands of time and we will all be androids. Anyway, enough of my positive optimism.
I know another nihilist. You two should meet.
But what about you, Max? I mean, you're the one that has a 9-to-5. How do you itemize your time?
I mean, I already have the advantage that I have a 9-to-5, so I have to at least have it separate. So I have to time manage at work, obviously, but then I also can manage my time freely at home, which is the part where I fail pretty badly. It's like to come back to my good old drawing tablet. No, I will not put it up again. It is
did the dust settle back on there so the help me and the smiley face is gone?
It turned into a frown by now. But but no, it's like things with. It's probably more a matter of disciplines and time management. That, for example, I have this. I know that if I would come home, and I watch enough stuff on YouTube and Netflix, I would come home and sit down and just for half an hour, not even more, just half an hour, do some scribbling on a drawing while watching something on the other screen. Like, I would so quickly get into it if I only could get myself to, I don't know, do it for a month, for 1 month whenever I come home. But yeah, the moment I get home, any time management falls apart. We just had this last weekend, didn't we, where it was like, okay, I went to the cinema in the morning, from there I came home and did an 8-hour live stream, and then the day was over and I forgot to get my groceries. Yeah, I don't. There is probably a good reason why the question was not directed at me.
Yeah, the way that you were describing how you could do your drawing stuff was basically how I got started drawing, which was I would just look up stuff and draw in my composition notebook what I saw on screen. Basically, people, my piece of advice, just draw cartoons. You don't need to develop your own art style very quickly. You eventually gain pieces of other art styles to make a conglomerate that becomes yours. But how I manage my time, I sit at my desk and I scream and eventually something gets made. That's a great mental image, isn't it? No, I guess the main way that I do time management, or I itemize I say itemize a lot because I'm terrible with just having mental checklists. So around my table, I actually have a lot of written checklists. Because if I see the tasks physically or written down, they are easier for me to handle. Because my brain is a big goopy mess, and with that goop, everything seems a lot bigger than it actually is. But if I see like, okay, I have 7 things to do, I actually just see them as 7 things. When it's in my brain, it's a giant whirlpool of a million fucking tasks. So that's my way. And then, you know, besides that, it's something. I'm still learning. I am a self-employed woman who does a lot of freelance, who does a lot of contract work. It really is a learning experience of learning how much I should handle my threshold. And all my friends hate that because they are kind of like, Chrissy, you work too much. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know what my life is like if I don't work. So I'm the wrong person to ask about time management, my friends. But yes, Twitter question. What does the normies on Twitter ask?
So, Rockstar the Metalhead Brony.
Oh no, this one. I saw that you liked this one specifically on Twitter.
My question comes from me currently attending Inkar Festival. I don't even know what it is, but I guess it's a rock fest. What's each of your favorite rock/metal band? And what's your thought on Rolling Stones being better than the Beatles? With that said, Key has my respects to massacre me at BronyCon in a few weeks.
I don't need your permission. I was going to do that anyway, uttering that statement.
Rockstar. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, your favorite rock or metal bands, folks.
Exactly.
Oh, come on, you guys should have.
I'm letting him go first.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, like, okay, what's not punk rock? What's
but that is rock.
Oh, okay,
so
then the
it's a rock. Rock has a million subgenres. Okay. Metal is a rock subgenre.
Then the Ärzte, but also AC/DC is pretty cool. So like going.
Okay.
Welcome to the Jungle is from not Guns. What's this?
I'm not going to help you. You should know this answer. It's a classic.
I know it's a classic. It is Guns N' Roses. I was right. Don't irritate me like that.
You should have conviction in your thoughts. I'm trying to teach you a lesson there, buddy.
But yeah, all those stuff is good stuff.
Okay, what about you, Tim?
Well, I like power metal, and so Dragon Force is my favorite. I love it because if you're doing like a workout or anything, you can get the whole workout in the span of one song. Not because I'm quick at workouts, but because they're very long songs. It's like
like 7 minutes.
The guitar solos alone go for like 5 minutes. And the funny thing is how I learned about this. I was playing oh dang it, what was that video game? Why am I suddenly blanking on it? Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
Still have it on my playlist to play later.
I was playing it. They cycle all these classic rock and heavy metal songs, and it was on there, and it was just like the perfect song for riding on a souped up car down fantasy monsters. Like, this is perfect. I must know more. And then I saw them. It's like, oh my god, their hair. They're trying to headbang, and it's like Cousin It from the Addams Family. It's just like, what? There's a person under all that, right? I mean, but they are fantastic. I love them, and I always get pumped when I hear their songs. But as for what was it? Guns N' Roses versus whom?
No.
It was Rolling. The versus question is Rolling Stones versus the Beatles, which they are objectively wrong.
I'm neither up. I'm not close enough to really have a subjective opinion.
Yeah, and not versed enough to alien from fucking Futurama.
If I don't make it, tell my wife hello.
Basically. Favorite rock or metal bands? Hey, believe it or not, I do listen to more than just one band. So I guess besides the Beatles, I like Black Sabbath. I like The Who, and What's some other good ones? I'm gonna say this. I don't like Nirvana. Does Limp Bizkit count as rock or metal? I don't know what they are, but I do like, I guess, alt rock. But I tend to listen to a lot of older music. So if there's new rock bands, I'm not really there, unless they're punk rock, punk pop, I guess, because I really like Bowling for Soup, and I would count them as rock music, like punk rock music. But some people would say no, they're pop, and it's like pop is just a weird term to mean popular music. Rock can be popular. There's something called a crossover hit. Ever heard of it? Yeah. In regards to your other question, you're wrong. Because here's the thing. It says a lot that one of Rolling Stone's biggest hits in the 60s were a song that John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote for them.
Ooh. Shots fired.
Yeah, you forget, Mr. Rockman. I Want to Be Your Man, which is one of the Rolling Stones' biggest hits, was written by John and Paul. So, yeah, and here's the other thing. The Beatles at least broke up when they were still good.
Ooh,
they knew when to quit. They knew when to quit. The Rolling Stones are still rocking when they're geriatrics, but by the 70s they were making shitty disco music. So I don't have any tea near me, but it's been spilled and the mic's been dropped. Fight me.
Well, hang on. Do you have any soda to go with your pop rock?
I mean,
because that might be what's wrong with your stomach.
Wait,
you know what? Y'all can just deal with it. So, anyways, there's your answers. I actually like that question a lot. But no,
he has a dab icon. Good gravy.
I commissioned it. I paid for that.
Money for that. But no, so let's see if there's any more Discord questions. I think we had more Twitter ones than Discord.
We had. I mean, I can just continue with another one from Twitter.
I'm just double checking to see if there was any more from Discord.
Fair.
No. I guess there's a quick one.
Oh.
That's a yes or no. Is this blasphemy to say that Silver Quill causes more chaos than Discord?
I mean, the pre-show of this very podcast confirms, yes.
Yes. Would you say so? Okay, there you go. Now, on back to Twitter.
Okay, Pristine asks, Silver, I guess we can still all answer, but Silver, being that you know 80s cartoons, having lived through it, I guess, I have a question, which is good. What are some of your favorite 80s openings? Even so I am female, I always loved Mask's opening. Hehe.
Oh heck yeah!
Why do you need to be a male to like the opening of Mask? There's my question back to you, Pristine.
Well, actually, I can answer. 80s was way more divided along gender lines. Guys were supposed to like guy shows, girls were supposed to like girls shows.
Like My Little Pony.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't really watch a lot of G1, but I still caught it. But, okay, I'm sorry. My Little Pony did not have an awesome intro. Meanwhile, you got Wheeled Warriors. Just lasers blasting everywhere. There's a rock band singing, if you just keep it turning, don't stop rolling, the fire is on. God, you want metal. Watch Wheeled Warriors intro. Mask was indeed a really awesome intro. Funny enough, it was the third Transformers intro that was the most catchy. And then Thundercats and Silverhawks, made by the same company. Very similar shows, but the action in their intros was 10 times better than anything in the actual episode.
So true.
I mean, actually, that's the great lie of the 80s. You watch... There are whole videos on YouTube devoted to the best 80s intros. So you can see all these great action-filled intros with this fantastic animation. You think, wow, this must have been really awesome. None of the shows were as good as their intros. Even the ones I love, I will say this, they weren't as good as their intros.
Sadly, very true.
Very, Very true. What about you, Max? Let's go down the line of age.
I would just go with a classic. I mean, there have been plenty of good ones which are all from the 80s. I assume, like Thunderhawks and
Did you just say Thunderhawks?
No,
Good Lord, they're not that similar.
Sweet Lord, man.
No, that's why I want to go with.
Turn in your nostalgia card. I don't even know what card that is. Your age card? You are a true millennial at this point.
Ouch. But yeah, I just wanted to go for DuckTales.
Woohoo!
Exactly.
DuckTales wasn't 80s.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Totally. Also, Keyframe, this might shock you. By current goal points, I am a millennial.
Oh no, I knew you were. And I make fun of Max because he is a millennial. He's just on the very far outskirts of millennial.
I should be further on the end.
Okay. Yeah, you both are. Okay, see, I thought it was 90s because the end of its run was 1990.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
Okay.
And I associate it with the Disney Afternoon, which also had stuff like the Aladdin show and everything, which was the mid 90s. So.
Oh yeah. That was a decent continuation of Aladdin. Just really quick, Mary of Rockport asked if I knew about the comic strip, and I do remember watching that. Mostly the Tiger Sharks, but I mostly remember it because it was the year my family lived in San Francisco, so it has a unique nostalgia for that reason alone.
Yeah. Okay. Let me think, because I grew up watching a lot of 60s and 70s cartoons, but so I need to actually think about what's specifically 80s.
Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah, Beetlejuice. That one is good. But no, let me just double check that this also counts as 80s, because this one is no, that is 90s. But I guess like my top 3, because these are the ones that I just automatically associate. The real Ghostbusters opening, though I don't know if that counts because that is just the actual Ghostbusters theme song. However, the animation is really cool of them, just going like putting down their guns, and they have all the nice shading on them because it's an 80s intro, so they have more budget. Then probably for the sheer ridiculousness of it, because I think this opening is just, I don't even know if I would count the show as good, is the opening to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Ooh.
Oh,
I love it, but it's not objectively good. However,
it's 90s,
there is
isn't it?
No, Super Mario Super Show was 80s.
So early. I mean, the game barely came out in the...
I'm going to just make sure of this, because I remember watching it with a bunch of 80s cartoons. Yeah, it's from 1989. So, right on this cusp. But there's something to appreciate about Captain Lou Albano just dancing in front of a green screen with someone being like, with the Mario Brothers. And that also goes to the Hulk Hogan cartoon, which is...
Okay. I remember the Hulk Hogan cartoon.
The Hulk Hogan cartoon is amazing, and the intro is amazing because it has live-action Hulk Hogan with the world's worst green screen behind him, and it doesn't help because he wears yellow against the green screen, so there's so much aliasing. But an actual good intro, I guess, would probably be See, I was going to say Animaniacs, but that was early 90s. That was not 80s. Tiny Toons, I think, was 80s, though. Was it? Or was that like 1990?
Ooh, Heathcliff.
I feel like it was a 90s thing. Animaniacs was part of this cartoon renaissance in my eyes of the 90s.
Spielberg time. Yeah, I guess Real Ghostbusters is, to me, the best one, but I think that's because it comes from one of the best movies of that decade. That, again, I watched a lot of the stuff that came before the 80s and a lot of stuff that came after the 80s. There's a big blip of nothingness in my brain, besides, the obvious like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Voltron, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, but Voltron's theme was super heroic. I mean, that was probably the most classically heroic themes.
Oh, yeah. And I like the mask intro, too. I like the... God, the 80s had a lot of good stuff. So it was... Okay, Garfield and Friends. That's also another good one. Then again, Garfield and Friends is just an amazing fucking cartoon. But yeah, is there any other Twitter questions, my dude?
I believe I saw one more earlier that tingled my fancy. And actually another one from MLP Trioneer for Silver Quill, but once again, I guess we can all answer. What movies, animated shows, or books most informed your tastes and or helped shape your sense of humor?
Okay, well, guest first.
Okay. I saw this from Trinary, and so I've been mulling it over for a while. I think Darkwing Duck for slapstick, Animaniacs for wit, Aqua Teen Hunger Force for a non sequitur, and I'm trying to think if there was another. Oh, and Mystery Science Theater for just making fun of the situation.
Yeah. He tried to kill me with a forklift. Huzzah!
Huzzah! There we go. Okay. See, we're nerd bonding here.
I mean, whoever doesn't know that, one, probably doesn't watch Linkara, and two, also is not a person I want to meet. I met you, Max, but I don't but I think that came before. But what about you? What has shaped you?
What did shape me? How far back do I go is the question.
Whatever, I guess, sticks to present day.
I mean, one particular show involving cartoony equines had a certain influence on my life over the last 8 years.
Near decade.
Yeah. It had quite the influence. But yeah, stuff shaped me before that, I guess. I mean, I was one of the Saturday morning kids, why we had probably a different lineup of shows than you guys over there, but I was one of the kids who was sitting there and was just watching everything. So I guess a convoluted mess of flashy images explains a lot, doesn't it?
It explains the attention span the size of a walnut. Yes.
It's true. I'm not sure. One movie that influenced me very strong during my teenage time, which I'm not sure if this is good or bad, was Cruel Intentions.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing, because I was wearing a black trench or a black coat throughout the middle. Oh no! Actually, here's the ironic part. I started out with a long black, ankle black leather coat. Because I was looking for a coat because the style of Sebastian, oh my god, I even remember his name, from Sebastian from the movie Cruel Intentions was this short black coat. And when I wanted
What's wrong with remembering the character's name? Cruel Intentions is great.
Is it? I mean,
I love Cruel Intentions.
I cannot see it objective. Soundtrack is to this day ingenious, but I mean, it's horny teenagers banging each other with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Reese Witherspoon. So
yes, what's not to like about that?
Reese Witherspoon, no, Sarah Michelle Gellar making out with whatever the other girl is who got banged by a mascot in a different movie.
Go on.
You've never seen Cruel Intentions, Tim? You need to.
And she got banged by a guy in an actual mascot costume in the movie with it's actually also a comedy, which is safe for work. So with the girls trip movie with what's her name? The blonde one, the tall blonde one, who is usually in comedies.
Selma Blair? No.
Oh, Selma Blair is I believe Selma Blair is the one who got banged by a. I should focus on Cruel Intentions, not on the other movie I can't remember.
Yeah, so. God damn it!
I love this thing.
Too much, actually. But yeah, I believe I gave an answer. So, have you given an answer yet, Keyframe?
No, I haven't. I was waiting. I would say, there's three things that I think fully has shaped my sense of humor and how I view things. And I guess two of them are basically like blocks of things, but one of them that has definitely influenced it is Angry Beavers from Nickelodeon.
Ooh, good one.
I for one thing, that is a show I used to religiously watch as a kid, and my very off-the-cuff, improv-y love of humor of, like, I like when people record in the same booth and everything, comes from that show because Richard Horvitz and I can never remember the guy who voices Nor, but he was also Salem in Teenage Witch. Always recorded in the same room, and they kept the fuck-ups in between. Like, my favorite moment was, like, one episode where Norb just yells out, "It's not a dam! No, wait! It is a dam!" And I love it so damn much. But, and then the other two...
damn much?
Hey,
I'm proud of you. That was good. I'm proud of you.
Give him an applause.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you have the soundboard.
Well, guys, you know you better deal with it.
But no, the other two things are specifically Casper Kelly era Cartoon Network. And what does that mean? Well, Cartoon Network in like the 90s had a series of bumpers in between. It was the beginning of the era where Cartoon Network had this advertising campaign of the cartoons interacting with each other. So you will have like Captain Planet interacting with Ed from Ed and Eddie, or that kind of stuff. Like, and those things were specifically made by Casper Kelly, who is one of the founding members of what would become Adult Swim, which is like one of my favorite ones is there's a parking lot bumper where it's Chicken from Cow and Chicken, Fred Flintstone, and Thundar the Barbarian in a car trying to get a parking space. And like Space Ghost is like, "Fellas, you can have my parking spot. Now where'd I park? Oh wait, I flew into work today."
Wow.
Silly me. And like
Big
they're
move.
competing with Speed Racer for a parking spot, and then Judy Jetson crashes into Speed Racer's car. It's fucking great.
Whoop.
Especially
Okay.
like, oh, I died. Especially with that era, you have like the early Adult Swim stuff. So you have Space Ghost Coast to Coast, the Brack Show, C-Lab 2021, the absurdist comedy touching upon the past. That was the Adult Swim I grew up with, because my parents did not understand that not all cartoons are for kids. So that I think that really shaped my perception of things, and especially adult humor. And then of course you have shit like Boomerang era 70s cartoons, which I think, and like stuff like old anime like Lupin and everything, which I think just formed my personality in general, for the better or for the worst. So I guess that would be it. But is that all the?
I would say, especially due to the procreate, the time has moved on. Let do the honor, Keyframe.
Yes, Tim. There was one thing in the tutorial video I sent you that
It's not
is
included.
that we don't included.
We need to re-record it someday.
No, I don't want to. That is like the third iteration of our tutorial.
Yeah, we're also in the third season.
Yes, but we have a segment provided by the mad lad who is also a wolf. It is commonly believed that the dodo bird went extinct because Dutch sailors kept capturing them and eating them. This has nothing to do with the fuck, marry, kill. Just throwing out some random knowledge. Fuck, marry, kill. A chicken, an ostrich, and a penguin. Welcome to Fuck, Marry, Kill, the place where we make our guest feel even more awkward.
Honestly, judging by that title, it sounds more like you have something against a person named Mary.
Hey-oh.
Oh my god, you're right, but that's besides the point. So, Tim, fuck, marry, kill, a chicken, an ostrich, and a penguin.
Well, I guess it would be the ostrich because of the for the fuck, because you know there's the height thing, you know, don't want to awkward positions. Mary, oh come on, it's a penguin. I've seen Happy Feet.
Okay.
And no one passes up on a good chicken dinner. I mean, really.
Oof.
I mean, you bring up.
It's
I
true.
don't think we've had a guest that's been that like quick to an answer before.
Well, you praised his quick
Improv
thinking
skills,
earlier,
yeah.
Well, this ties into what people they think. Oh, Silver Quill, he'll be so morally offended by this fuck, marry, kill game. He will never. I've talked about Transformers with the fuck, marry, kill. Thank you very much. Once you say you want to marry Bumblebee, there's no going back.
Okay, that's fair. But what about you, Maximilian?
He had good answers. I give him that. So now I need
thank you.
now I need to come up with alternative answers. Okay, easy, very easy actually. Of course, you marry the chicken because fresh eggs every morning, huh?
You're gonna be eating your children.
No, if I don't, then those eggs will just be
fertilized.
Yes,
You don't fertilize the eggs.
They will be unfertilized eggs. Thank you very much. I'm not eating my own chicken human mutant children.
Oh wait. Oh come on! Have you never seen the bird lady from Kids in the Hall?
Kids in the Hall doesn't ring a bell. But,
Oh well.
oh boy.
I'm gonna link you.
I mean, I'm a furry.
Oh, no.
I'm a furry. I would probably go for it anyways. So I married the chicken. I mean,
Oh no.
a penguin is a very classy fellow, so I will take him out for a fuck, or her I guess. A lady. Oh, okay. So considering I'm straight, believe it or not, considering I'm straight, so the penguin would be a lady. So it would be a lady in a smoking or in a nice suit, and anybody who knows that I have a thing for tomboys, like, hell yeah, I'm going to fuck that penguin. Oh shit, those clippings. Well, and the ostrich, I don't have a relationship to ostriches. I don't know, they're not very pretty to look at, and I mean, I try not to be superficial, but kill that motherfucker. Oh, there's a bird lady. Okay.
It looks like a terrible like.
This is a dude, isn't it?
Spin-off of Cats, but with birds.
Yeah, I say, wait, where's my screen share? Okay, bird lady, open the door. I mean, it's also a lot lazier than. What the hell is going on there?
That would be your child if you fucked the chicken.
Yeah,
Actually, that is her origin.
Well, her parents are a human and a chicken.
Her father's human. Her wife, her mother's a chicken.
Chicken lady, literally.
That's how she became the bird lady.
Oh boy. But I guess I have to give my answers, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Oh boy. See, I can't do a gold digging answer for this one because.
Maybe you can. Be
There's
creative.
no
Okay,
goose.
which one has money?
Not half, but which one? I mean, the ostrich eggs are bigger, so you can sell them for more money.
Happy Feet has royalty rights.
I mean, you can.
Yes, I'm going to marry a penguin because then I can have the Oscar from the Oscar-winning movie Happy Feet. Yes, Happy Feet won an Oscar.
So did Suicide Squad. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
They did. Anyways.
They won for
did.
costume and makeup against Star Trek.
But yeah, I mean, since you are free of your usual path of just going for the richest person on the list or being,
I have to actually choose with my heart.
Exactly. So what does your heart tell you who you want to murder? And
why do I have to pick murdering first?
I don't know. You can
to...
also pick who your heart is telling you to get down and do the business with.
Okay. You need to not. You're not allowed to talk anymore. You can do the dance. You can no. He can continue
Making
dancing.
love.
I like the dance. I like the dancing, but he just doesn't need to talk. He's better seen and not heard. Anyways, okay. You need to stop. But no, I would probably marry the penguin.
Because?
I don't know. Penguins just seem interesting, and I know since it can't fly, it can't leave me.
Aww.
Oh, God damn it.
What?
I thought your childhood stories were supposed to be depressing and not your real life stories. Anyways, you still have to murder and to fuck somebody.
It's not a real life story, you know, if it hasn't happened. But no, and then I would kill the ostrich.
Because?
They're weird.
Wow. Like... How is there no restraining order from against you on any convention ever? I like to kill people. When people look weird, I like to kill them.
I'm sorry, but you know, with one of these being the top Google results for what an ostrich looks like, I don't want to be anywhere near this.
Oof, okay, that's a link.
Yeah, why did it do that?
And it's not even working.
Yeah, no, hold on. Hold on.
I'm scrolling and I'm not at the end of this link.
Here.
Oh my.
You know what? With how Skype looks, that just looks like the speech bubble that the ostrich is saying.
Yeah, never mind the ostrich. I'm just admiring the length of this text. This is the skyscraper.
I click copy image address, and that's what Google gives me apparently.
Oh boy!
But that's with that, I don't trust it. It looks like it'll murder someone else. Maybe I am doing the world a favor. I don't know how violent ostriches are. They just look like a very violent creature.
I know of videos for humans running away from them because they are protective of eggs, at least. So yeah, they are probably murderers.
Ostrich is dangerous. Please tell me. A frightened ostrich can... Oh, it can deliver dangerous kicks capable of killing lions. Yeah, I'm gonna kill the ostrich before it kills me.
So you're fucking the chicken?
Yeah, and I think the reason is obvious. Because I love cock.
There you go. Let's see here.
I expected more disappointment in that.
Well, Key, how does this lack of disappointment make you feel?
I feel awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis which you do not want to miss on awkward.